Republican
Thanks,
Congresswoman Cammack of Florida was in the last Congress, served on the Government Weaponization Subcommittee. So you are the perfect person to talk about this today. First of all, just your initial reaction that you're seeing already.
Well, it's incredible, honestly. This is long overdue. These are individuals who violated their oath of office, weaponized the justice system with the end goal being a political outcome, which was stop Trump. These individuals intimidated witnesses, they withheld evidence, and I think that their firing should just be the beginning. Honestly, if we're going to be back into a place where we are a nation of law and order and accountability, there need to be legal consequences for these individuals. That is something that the American people demanded in this election, and I think that this is a very good start, but we know how deep the weaponization of our federal government goes, and it's going to take a lot of work, and a lot of people are going to be held to account.
Well, you probably heard me saying yes in part of that because voters who I talked with before the election, they may not have named the people involved. They didn't necessarily know Jack Smith, but what they knew was something that some of them had already felt against a system that they felt was unfair, which I thought was interesting. I don't know if it drove votes, but it certainly was on some voters' minds. Well, Congresswoman, what would you say to critics who claim that this is retaliation for going after Trump?
Listen, I think that if they're going to go down that path, they're going to have 70+ million Americans standing in their way. It is far more about the righting of the ship and getting back to a place of law and order, equal justice for all. And what we saw, certainly under the last 4 years, but even prior under Obama, was a systematic targeting of conservatives. And that was across all spheres of government, whether it was the IRS targeting the IRS going after conservative organizations, or we saw people, everyday mom and pop organizations, even individuals, being censored at the behest of the White House, utilizing the FBI. There was countless examples of where conservatives have been targeted through financial systems and otherwise. So this is a long time coming of getting back to the basics of upholding the law. And we are no longer going to be a system of double standards and who is better politically connected. It's all about truth. And that is what President Donald Trump campaigned on. And we are right now in the midst of promises made, promises kept.
Well, and you hit the nail on the head. Equal justice for all. He's now trying to keep a promise that was made 100 years or more or so ago. All right, let's do it. Right now, you are, I should say, where you are, your fellow House Republicans are at Trump's Doral Golf Club in Florida for your annual policy retreat. Here is part of the president's message, which he delivered there yesterday. Let's watch.
The golden age of America has officially begun, and I think that's a good thing for us to talk about, the golden age and the American dream. I think it's a good thing because people haven't been talking that way for a long period of time. The Republican Party has to stick together. We just can't have people going, 1, 2, 3 votes, and we don't have that luxury. It would be different if we had a 20-point, 30-point, 30-person majority, but we don't. We have to help leadership.
Well, President Trump covered many topics, including his illegal immigration crackdown, artificial intelligence, the TikTok ban, and looking to reinstate his tax cuts. He also pushed for a bill or bills, several, whatever it took to deliver on his agenda. House Speaker Mike Johnson with this.
Some big decisions will be made here in the next few days, and we'll align with the Senate and our colleagues there, and we will move forward on that agenda. The reconciliation process, the appropriations that we have to wrap up, and the other issues that are upon us. So all the Republicans are rolling their sleeves up. There is a lot of work being done. There has been a lot of work done behind the scenes up to lead us to this point, and we are really excited to deliver for the American people, and we will.
And you see her there. That is the conference chair, Lisa McClain, on the right of your screen. And in a new op-ed, she writes this. In November, 77 million people gave us a clear mandate. They told us they want results, not excuses. In the span of just a few weeks, House Republicans have passed meaningful legislation. These are not just symbolic victories. They're a sign our message is getting through, even among those who've long opposed us. Our agenda is America's agenda. Why would anyone block or be opposed to our agenda, end quote. Congresswoman, your reaction.
Listen, if the last week has been any indication, we've seen more winning in 7 days than we saw in Biden's 4 years. And you can probably tell I'm squinting a little bit. And, I'd like to say that the future's so bright that I got to wear shades, but that wouldn't work for TV. But it is bright out here, and not just because of the Florida sunshine. It's because of what we have in terms of potential ahead of us. We have got to be one team, one mission. The president was so right. We have to be united as we march forward on these big ticket items like reconciliation. And for all the viewers at home, you're going to hear that a lot. Reconciliation, that is just a really fancy way of saying we are going to put a package together that drains the swamp. It's the energy, it's the border package, it's the regulatory reform. It's taking on these big ticket items with a special procedure that allows us to get it done, because Lisa McClain's right. We have to have a no excuses attitude. We need to deliver results, and we've got a lot of work to do in a very short amount of time. So there can be no race to the Mount Clickmore. There can be no entertainment here on Capitol Hill. It has to be about getting things across the finish line. No army of one. We've got to be one team, one mission, and that's what we're delivering here today.
I wrote that down. And by the way, I've seen you rock your shades.
Yes.
You can do it. All right. Good to see you.
Yeah, girl.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Harris.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.